Hello my dear students and welcome in a new unit. Today we are going to start unit 1 and lesson 1. Who tell me what is the title of our unit for this day? The title of our unit is A Journey to Adventure. Journey means رحلة. Adventure مغامرة. And now who tell me what is the title of our lesson? The title is Escape from Fire. Who tell me what is the meaning of escape? Escape means الهروب from men وفire النار وبذلك يكون عنوان درسنا الهروب من النار. Now my dear students, look at the pictures. What can you see in picture number 1? In picture number 1, you can see a boy and a girl. This boy is talking with a phone and he is in his bedroom. He is packing his bag. And you can see a girl. A girl is talking with a boy and they are very happy. Now my dear students, look at picture number 2. What can you see? You can see a boy and this boy is surprised. And you can see also an old man. This man has leg in a big bandage. Also you can see a lot of books on the shelves. Now my dear students, you have 2 minutes to read this page carefully and quickly. And while you are reading, you have to answer these questions. Now I think you have finished reading this page. Now let us ask and answer the questions. Question number 1. Why was Robert excited? Robert was excited because he was going to stay with his grandfather at the weekend. لماذا كان روبرت مبتهج وسعيد؟ روبرت كان مبتهج وسعيد لأنه سوف يذهب للبقاء في بيت جده في عطلة نهاية الأسبوع. Now question number 2. What were the things that Robert and Lucy like about their granddad? ما هي الأشياء التي يحبها روبرت ولوسي في جدهم؟ There were 2 things about him that Robert and Lucy really liked. First, he was very clever. He was an inventor. He invented lots of things. The other thing they liked was that Granddad loved history. When Robert and Lucy came to stay, Granddad told them exciting stories from history. هناك شيئان يحبهما لوسي وروبرت في جدهم. أولاً أنه ذكي جدا، ذلك بأنه مخترع وهو يخترع الكثير من الأشياء. أما الشيء الثاني فأن جدهم يحب التاريخ. وعندما يذهب روبرت ولوسي للبقاء عنده في البيت فإنه يقوم بإخبارهم بالعديد من القصص الممتعة وهذه القصص كلها من التاريخ. Go to question number 3. What tales did they love from their granddad? ما هي الروايات التي يحبونها من جدهم؟ The answer is they loved granddad's tales of explorers who used to sail across the oceans and travel across deserts to distant lands. الروايات التي يحبونها من جدهم هي روايات المكتشفين الذين يبحرون عبر البحار والمحيطات وكذلك يسافرون عبر الصحراء لأماكن أو مسافات بعيدة. And now let's go to the last question. It is question number 4. Why did Robert stop in surprise? لماذا توقف روبرت وهو مندهش؟ When Robert hurried into Granddad's study, he found Granddad was sitting in an armchair and there was a big bandage on his foot. عندما أسرع روبرت بالدخول إلى غرفة جده وجد جده جالسا على مقعد له يدان، وكان هناك باندج كبير على قدمه. Now my dear students, let us explain each paragraph and know what is our lesson talking about. The first paragraph is talking about Robert and how was he excited that he was going to stay with his grandfather at the weekend with his cousin. His cousin's name was Lucy and they were at the same age and they were good friends. While Robert was packing his bag, the telephone rang. It was Lucy. هذه الفقرة تتحدث عن مدى سعادة روبرت بذهابه لقضاء عطلة نهاية الأسبوع مع ابنة عمه لوسي في بيت جدهم. لوسي هي نفس عمر روبرت وهم أصدقاء جيدين. أثناء ما كان روبرت يقوم بترتيب حقيبته، قامت لوسي بالاتصال عليه. Now let's go to paragraph number 2. Paragraph number 2 is talking about why did Lucy and Robert like going to their granddad's house. There are two reasons. The first thing, that their granddad was very, very clever, that he was an inventor and he invented lots of things. The last thing that he invented was a mobile phone. The other thing that they liked was that the granddad loved history and his house was full of history books. When Robert and Lucy came to stay at his house, their granddad told them a lot of stories, and these stories were true, and also they loved his tales of explorers who used to sail across the oceans and travel across deserts to distant lands. هنا في هذه الفقرة تتحدث عندما سافر روبرت إلى بيت جده استقل الباص، وأثناء ركوبه في الباص أخذ يفكر في محبته لجده، وهناك سببان. السبب الأول أن جده ذكي جدا وهو مخترع وقد قام باختراع أشياء عديدة، ومؤخرا قام باختراع تليفون موبايل وهو موبايل غير عادي. كذلك أن جدهم يحب التاريخ حيث بيته مليء بالكتب التاريخية، وعندما يقومون بقضاء عطلة نهاية الأسبوع عند جدهم يقوم جدهم بإخبارهم بالعديد من القصص الممتعة، وهي قصص تاريخية، قصص كلها قصص حقيقية. أيضا يحبون الروايات للمكتشفين الذين يجوبون المحيطات إبحارا، وكذلك يسافرون عبر الصحراء للأراضي البعيدة. Now paragraph number 3. This paragraph is talking about Robert when he arrived to his granddad's house. When he arrived, he knocked at the door and the maid, her name was Mrs. Green, opened the door. She welcomed Robert and took his bag from him. Robert hurried to his granddad's study, and when he opened the door, he said immediately, "Hello, Granddad." But he was surprised that he found his granddad's foot was in a big bandage. وهذه الفقرة تتحدث عند وصول روبرت إلى منزل جده. قرع الباب، فتحت له الخادمة السيدة ميسيس جرين، رحبت به وأخذت منه الحقيبة. أسرع روبرت بالذهاب إلى غرفة جده، وعندما دخل رحب بجده ثم تفاجأ بوجود جبيرة كبيرة على قدمه. Now my dear students, these are some words which are mentioned in our lesson. Let's know the words and their meanings. Journey رحلة, adventure مغامرة, escape يهرب, stay يبقى, noisily بإزعاج. clever ذكي. special خاص. inventor مخترع. history تاريخ. tale حكاية. explorer مكتشف. sail يبحر. ocean محيط. promise يوعد. distant بعيد. maid خادمة. bandage ضمادة. Now, my dear students, let's know the parts of speech for the words in this paragraph. Paragraph number 1. Journey, it's a noun. 2. Preposition. Adventure, noun. Escape, noun. From, preposition. The, article. Fire, noun. Excited, adjective. Stay, it's verb, and it is here infinitive verb because it was preceded by to. جاء قبله هنا حرف الجر to، وبما أن جاء to فإن الفعل بعدها يكون مجردا. weekend noun. cousin noun. age noun. God adjective. was packing. was is a helping verb. was فعل مساعد وهو فعل الماضي، وpacking هو فعل منتهي ب ing، وهنا was مع الفعل المنتهي ب ing packing تكون ماضي مستمر. rang verb to. noisily adverb. answered verb to. And now let's go to paragraph number 2 and see the part of speech. Great adjective. weekend noun. good adjective. was traveling past continuous. هنا فعل مركب من با أو من was وهو فعل ماضي بسيط was، وtraveling انتهت ب ing وهنا تكون فعل ماضي مستمر past continuous. thought verb to. really adverb. liked verb to. clever adjective. inventor noun. invented verb to. history noun. here history as adjective. هنا جاءت history مرتان، مرة كاسم ومرة كصفة. هنا في المرة الأولى كانت كاسم لأنها أجت بعد الفعل الرئيسي وهو loved، وهو هنا فعل تصريف ثاني verb to، فجاء بعدها اسم وهنا هي history، وهنا بما أنه جاءت الكلمة بعد فعل فإنها تكون noun. أما history الثانية فقد جاءت قبل الاسم وهي تصف الاسم فإذا تكون adjective. exciting adjective. true adjective. tales noun. explorers noun. oceans noun. deserts noun. distant adjective. and finally land noun. And now let's go to paragraph number 3 and find out the part of speech. knocked verb to. made noun. opened verb to. fine adjective. talk verb to. study noun. hurried verb to. began verb to. surprise noun. was sitting past continuous because of was, and verb ending with ing. هنا was فعل ماضي والفعل بعدها فعل متبوع ب ing، ويكون هنا الفعل ماضي مستمر و bandage noun. Now my dear students, let's read the lesson. A journey to adventure. Escape from the fire. Chapter 1. Granddad. Robert was excited. He was going to stay with his grandfather at the weekend. Lucy, his cousin, was going to stay too. She was the same age as Robert, and they were good friends. While Robert was packing his bag, the telephone rang noisily. Robert answered it. It was Lucy. "I hope we have a great weekend," said Lucy. "So do I," said Robert. "It's always good fun at Granddad's." While Robert was traveling on the bus, he thought about Granddad. There were two things about him that Robert and Lucy really liked. First, he was very, very clever. He was an inventor. He invented lots of things, but mostly he invented new kinds of mobile phones. The other thing they liked was that Granddad loved history. His house was full of history books. When Robert and Lucy came to stay, Granddad told them exciting stories from history. The cousins loved the stories because they were true. They loved Granddad's tales of explorers who used to sail across the oceans and travel across deserts to distant lands. Robert knocked on Granddad's door. Mrs. Green, the maid, opened it. "Hello, Robert," "Hello, Robert," she said. "Come in." "Hello, Mrs. Green," Robert said. "How are you?" "I'm fine," said Mrs. Green. She took his bag from him. "Your grandfather is in his study." Robert hurried into Granddad's study. "Hello, Granddad," he began. Then he stopped in surprise. Granddad was sitting in an armchair. There was a big bandage on his foot. عزيزي الطالب، واجب اليوم هو التدرب على قراءة هذه الصفحة جيدا، وكذلك عليك أن تنسخ الفقرة الثانية من بداية I hope إلى كلمة history، وهذا سوف يكون موضح في تبليغ المعاني.